Well, guys, how are we getting on? Episode 20 of, I guess this is actually a sort of podcast now, isn't it? But anyway, um, last week we were talking about specialization and how that is potentially harmful. Potentially. Not necessarily, but potentially. So, when I first sent that out as a newsletter, there was a bit of a conversation that came about. Um, and the conversation kind of led to this idea of railroad narrow wavelength, black and white thinking. This sort of binary, either or. If this, then it can't be that. Um, and that is incredibly unhelpful. Incredibly unhelpful. You know, we were talking last time, McGill talking to Peter Attia, and he says the people who deadlift get hip replacements. If this, then that. It's never that simple, right? The human being, the human animal, is incredibly complex. It really is. There are zero absolutes. None that I can think of. There are very, very strong guidelines, and yeah, we've got evidence that shows certain things happen to a certain degree of confidence. Yeah, we know everybody who deadlifts gets stronger. That's what we know about deadlifting. Same with squatting, same with pressing, same with whatever else. We know if you do aerobic exercise, zone 2, what used to be long, slow, boring cardio. I don't know if you can hear the dog messing around behind me. We know you're going to get fitter. Your aerobic system will improve. You'll probably live longer as a result. But within these boundaries, there's nuances. We're very, very complex, incredibly complex, but at the same time, we're relatively simple. And an old client of mine once said to me, as a way of illustrating this, I was explaining something to him, and he just went, he's very much on the technology side of of how his brain works. He loved tech, and he just says, "You're like an iPhone, Dave." I'm like, "You what?" You know, me, the shaved monkey, barely knows how to do a bloody YouTube video, and he's likening me to an iPhone. I'm like, right, tell me what you mean. And what he said was, the iPhone, the smartphone, is so simple and intuitive to use. It's so easy to use because behind it is incredible complexity. Right? Now, I don't know who's old enough, come here, to remember. Can you see? There's wee Meg. Come here. I don't know who's old enough to remember the old PCs and computers. Um, and they were really, really difficult to use, even though they were quite simple machines, especially compared to today's technology. What we're getting at here is we're realizing exactly how sophisticated and complex the human body is. And because it is so sophisticated, it's so intuitively easy to use, like your smartphone. I would love to see today's computer whiz kids get on a computer from back in the the late 80s, early 90s, and see what they make of it. It'd be comical. So we do have we're all born with this intuitive sense of well-being, of how to look after ourselves. Now, it's pretty much built into us. We know the things that we should be doing, and then we learn the rest of it from our parents and our peers, etc. And if we were just left to follow that, you just leave that there. That's not for you. Good girl. If we were to just leave and follow that, we'd actually be a much healthier species. Somewhere along the line, though, maybe it's urbanization, maybe it's being desk bound, maybe it is reliance on technology. I don't know, and I can't really say technology is a bad thing because I'm using it right now. But many people have lost touch with themselves, their own physical being. And in my mind, that is to the detriment of our health and well-being. Now, I've got it written here that possibly part of the problem is every man and his dog now, yeah, can come across as an expert. I'm doing it right now, and there's the dog, right? I can sit here, I can upload this video for free onto the internet, and somebody's going to watch it, and somebody's going to go, wow, this dude seems to know what he's saying. But who am I? Right? And if I can do it, I'm a shaved monkey. Anybody can do it. People who are more up to speed on marketing and technology and social media and all that are putting reams of information out there. And they haven't really a clue what they're saying. And there's misinformation being sent out online all day, every day. It's no bloody wonder people are confused. So you need to take anything anyone says, including me, with a big pinch of salt. And you need to listen to people talk, whether it's me on this podcast, whether it's somebody else, and you need to ask yourself the question, that dude said this, it sounds good, but let's check it out. And here's the thing, if enough people are saying the same thing, even though they might be coming out from different angles, where we all cross over, that's where the truth lies. And so much what we're hearing these days is we've got sleep scientists, we've got people saying zone 2 is good. You need to build muscle, you need to move. You know, all these people with different specializations, but you look them up and there's so much overlap. There's more in common in what they're saying than there isn't. Which kind of shows you there's not a single person out there who has all the answers. You know you better than everybody else. So you know your answers. And if you can put the effort in to listen to a wide variety of people talking, you will find that different people will give you part of the solution for you. You know, there would be 0 point in me training like a powerlifter. I'm just not built for it. I was always an endurance athlete. Did quite well. Where I found my physical abilities really sort of came to the fore was in endurance work and that sort of middle power endurance place. I was never a big strength athlete. And even today, my strength numbers are middling at best. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no one has all the answers. But I know what's good for me, what works for me, what gives me, what training, what movements I need to do to feel my best, to get the best out of it, to get me towards the kind of goals I'm looking for. As a coach, that's what I try and do with all my clients. There was a bit of a joke in Wild Geese that I think it was Kev, all hardcore. Kev was in the mornings with the boot camp crew, and they've a solid program, a group of them. They ran through the boot camp, and that's kind of what the morning session was always about, this boot camp program. But people would creep in, other people would come in, but they would have different needs. Either they'd be athletes looking for a performance upgrade for something for their sport. There might be guys looking for rehab work, but the morning was the time that suited them to train. So it ended up half the room was on the bootcamp program and half the room were doing what Kev termed the a la carte menu. You know, the stuff you could just pick and choose. And that's what I really became sort of best known for, this personalization. Not off the peg programs, but personalized programs. Why I got good at them was because you could take an individual assessment. You could watch a person move, knowing that we are more similar than different. So general movement would show the nuances, the differences. And you could very quickly see that if we want, I've got 10 people, you all need to work a hinge pattern. Everyone needs to work a hinge pattern to get stronger, the posterior chain strength. Some people need a straight bar deadlift. Some people a trap bar deadlift. Some people are better with cleans. Some people are better with broad jumps. Some people are better with kettlebell swings. Some people are better on single leg work than they would be with double leg work. But it's never a case of Dave says, this is how we train the hinge. We only do kettlebell swings. Now, everybody does kettlebell swings, but that's not the only thing. Some people would want a wide grip on the deadlift, a snatch grip. Some people are much narrower. Some people are straighter leg. Some people more of a bent leg. It doesn't matter. What matters is it's the best lift for the person. So he presses. There's a video came on my Facebook memories just recently of I was shooting down the gym because there's about 4 lads all in a row, all doing a single kettlebell press, and they were all doing it slightly differently. One guy was doing your standard press, the bell was on the back of the wrist. Guy beside him had the bell upside down. He was doing a bottoms up type press. I think there's somebody else just beside him was using an angled barbell and pressing slightly more forward rather than vertically up. And they were all basically doing the same workout, but the exercise choice was changed. Still working the same category of movement, but slightly differently. Bottoms up press, the guy must have had a shoulder injury. The standard kettlebell press, well, most people can do the standard, not everybody. The angled barbell, there must have been a reason for that too. What you doing? And that goes across the board. That example works out across the board. Same with food and nutrition. For some people, a paleo type diet might be just the thing. Other people need far more carbohydrates. Some people do really well off 1 to 2 meals a day. Some people need 5 or 6 meals a day, little and often. How do you know what you need? It'll be dictated somewhat by your activity level. If you need to get in 5,000-6,000 calories a day, you're not going to do that in one meal. So you're going to spread it out. But it becomes then, do you know you? What works best for you? And that's the whole point of this. Narrow thinking doesn't get individuals where they need to be. You are essentially an n equals 1 experiment. N equals 1, that just shows the number of people in the study. You're a one-person study. You are running your own study on you. So you know, or you're looking to find out, am I really a breakfast person? Or should I, am I good with lots of carbohydrates? Am I better with lower carbs and more fats? Do I train best in the morning? Do I train best in the afternoon? Do I train best in the evening? Do I do better with barbell lifts on my lower body, or do I do better with dumbbell lifts for my lower body? Nobody really cares. All that matters is, yeah, they're not real bones. She's down there with the skeleton. They're not real bones. They're plastic. All that matters is that you find what works best for you, and a good coach will help you find that. Bad coaches will just try and sell you their methodology. This is the answer to all your questions. And I don't like that. I think it does you a disservice. I know if I packaged up a program, and I have programs out, if I packaged up a program and just sold it en masse, I'd probably make a lot more money. But I've had clients come to me who've been on these type of programs and it hasn't suited them. Dude came to me, he'd lost a load of weight following this guy's quite intense weight loss program, but in doing so, he'd fucked his knees up. Came to me, we got his knees working better. That's one example. I've got several others. One was a pair of ladies who joined us for a while. They'd been at another gym. I'm not going to tell you the name of the place. It was local to Wild Geese in Dublin. But they always had back pain swinging kettlebells. That gym's answer was swing lighter kettlebells for more reps and build up a tolerance. One session in Wild Geese, I wasn't even there. It was one of my students was running the class for me in my place. She cleaned up the kettlebell technique and they were swinging bells 2-3 times heavier than they'd ever done with no pain. You know what I mean? Something was missing. That personalization of the coaching was missing. And that's often all it needs. If you're getting hurt doing something, maybe you're doing it wrong and you just need a bit of coaching. Maybe it's the wrong thing for you and you need to do something slightly different. Instead of a back squat, do a split squat. Maybe that's all you need. Instead of a split squat, do a lunge. Maybe that's what you need. If that's still not working, maybe it's a front squat, a zercher squat. Who knows? We don't know until we've got you in the room or we're doing some sort of assessment. It's simple, but it's not easy. We're all more the same than we're different, but the differences are still important. Hope that helps you. Key point, I suppose, question everything. Don't believe anything I tell you. Check it out. See for yourself. Is what I'm saying seem right? If it doesn't, test it. It's the invitation I've given to everybody on every workshop I've ever run, every client on the training floor. Don't believe anything I tell you. But if at the end of the day I'm proven right, well, I'm happy. Right, guys, as always, I want to hear from you. Drop comments, ask questions. Yeah, comments down below. You can send questions and comments in through davehedges.net. There's a form on there. You send me an email. Get in touch. Let me know. And don't forget, we've got to like, you've got to subscribe, and you've got the bell thing, which does something apparently. Till next time, I've been Dave Hedges, and I'll talk to you soon. Right, Meg, that's us done.